Let's look past the honey and the buzz for a minute. We're going to get into what a honeybee truly is, an incredible feat of engineering, and, as you'll see, a tiny, essential part of something much, much bigger.
So just for a second, what's the first image that pops into your head when you think honeybee?
I'm willing to bet it's something kind of like this, right? A gentle, fuzzy little thing just doing its job among the flowers. It's a nice image, a simple one. But honestly, it's not the whole story. It's not even close.
Okay, so let's just start by completely flipping that gentle image on its head. About 120 million years ago, the ancestors of bees, they were hunting wasps. That's right. Evolutionarily, bees are just a branch of the wasp family that decided to ditch hunting insects and switch to pollen and nectar. A vegetarian wasp. Just let that sink in for a moment.
So what makes this vegetarian wasp such a marvel? Let's zoom way in on the individual bee, because its anatomy is just packed with some absolutely brilliant engineering.
Let's start with flight. A bee has 4 wings, 2 on each side. But trying to flap 4 separate wings would be super inefficient. So nature, as it does, came up with this really ingenious solution. The secret? It's a tiny little detail called hemulae. And what they are is a row of microscopic hooks on the back wing that literally latch onto the front wing. These zip them together into one solid, powerful surface. It's like turning a biplane into a high-performance jet wing, instantly. And it's not just their flight, their senses. They operate on a completely different level than ours. Take vision. To us, the world moves along at a pretty normal pace. But to a bee, we're practically standing still. They see the world 5 to 6 times faster than we do. Now, what does that actually mean? It means that for a bee flying at top speed, flowers and predators don't just blur past. They see everything in crisp, clear detail. It's like our world is moving in slow motion for them. It's a superpower, and it's absolutely essential for what they do. And of course, we have to talk about the stinger. It's so often misunderstood. We tend to think of a bee stinging as this simple, tragic act of defense. But its design, it reveals a very specific and pretty brutal purpose. You see those tiny barbs? They aren't designed for fighting other insects. In fact, a bee can sting another insect and fly away just fine. Nope, those barbs are specifically engineered for the elastic skin of a vertebrate, like a bear or, us. They anchor the whole venom sac in place so it can keep pumping venom long after the bee is gone. It's a one-and-done weapon, designed for maximum damage against a massive threat. Okay, so as incredible as one single bee is, the real magic, the truly mind-bending part, happens when you zoom out. We need to look at the colony and see how thousands of these individuals become something else entirely, a single, unified superorganism. And that term, superorganism, it's not just some cool metaphor. It is a biological reality. Think about your own body for a second. Your liver cells do one job, your brain cells do another. In a hive, those jobs are just distributed among individual bees. The entire colony is the organism. So how does a body with, say, 40,000 separate parts all work together? The answer is chemistry. Instead of hormones running through a bloodstream, the colony uses pheromones. These chemical signals are floating through the air, regulating everything, like a social nervous system. And the heart of that whole system? It's the queen. Her pheromones are the master signal. They suppress the ovaries of all the other worker bees, making sure she is the only one who can reproduce. It's a perfect example of a bodily function, reproduction, being controlled at the group level, not the individual level.
This level of coordination leads to some incredible efficiency. A worker bee doesn't just do random jobs. She's a very distinct career path based entirely on her age. She starts her life as a nurse inside the hive. Then she graduates to building honeycomb and processing food, and only in her final weeks does she take on the really dangerous job of foraging outside. Each bee has its specialty, all to contribute to the health of the whole. So why does any of this matter to us? It's fascinating biology, but here's the kicker. This unique biology, this ability to function as a massive, coordinated unit, has made the honeybee an absolutely indispensable partner in our own survival. To get why, you just have to look at how we grow food. A natural landscape, it's like a buffet, with different flowers blooming all year, easily supporting local wild pollinators. But industrial agriculture, it creates these enormous monocultures, 1 million almond trees that all bloom for just a few weeks. It's a massive feast, followed immediately by a famine.
No local pollinator population can handle that boom and bust cycle. And this is where the honeybee superorganism becomes the solution. It's the only thing that makes this system possible. You can put tens of thousands of bees on a truck, drive them into an orchard, and unleash a huge temporary workforce exactly when you need it. Without them, industrial agriculture as we know it, it would pretty much collapse.
But there's a problem, a really big one. For years now, beekeepers have been reporting these massive, completely unsustainable losses. The very foundation of this whole agricultural partnership is cracking. And we hear a lot of potential causes, right? Pesticides, poor nutrition from working the same crop over and over, habitat loss, climate change. It's this tangled web, and they all definitely play a part. But if you had to cut through the noise and pinpoint the primary villain, what does the evidence point to? This quote from the research is pretty startling in how direct it is. While all those other factors contribute, there's a strong scientific case that one single parasite, the Varroa destructor mite, could be the main reason for modern colony collapse.
So what makes this one tiny mite so devastating? Well, first, it feeds on the bee, which weakens it and messes with its immune system. But the real damage it does is as a vector for disease. It's like a dirty needle. It spreads and turbocharges viruses. A virus like deformed wing virus is usually a minor issue in a healthy hive, but when Varroa mites are there, it becomes a full-blown epidemic that leads to catastrophic collapse. The mite basically creates a cascade of symptoms that looks like death by 1,000 cuts, but it all starts from this one source.
So, we've gone from a simple insect to a piece of brilliant machinery to a single cell in a superorganism that happens to be the linchpin of our food supply, a superorganism that's now fighting a desperate battle against a tiny parasite. The question is, the next time you see one, what will you really see?